doing? You helping? You're so noisy. Just waiting for the noise to be over. Maybe you should come back in 18 years' time. Are you done? Cheese. Hello and welcome to this week's video. I'm going to take you along to ALDI. It just opened in my town. I'm going to take you along and show you everything that I got to feed my family of 5 for this week and what meals I have planned. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I'm all about creating a beautiful life on a budget, and we don't need to make motherhood any harder than it needs to be, so I like to keep things easy and simple. And if that's your vibe, then keep on watching. Now, to keep this video from being super duper long, I'm going to show you snippets of everything that I had made, and I'll include all of the recipes that I used below. I went early because it only opened in the last 2 weeks, and I dropped the big boys off to school. I've got 3 boys. I dropped the big boys off to school, and then I hit ALDI straight away, and the car park was already full, so it's still quite busy over there. But let me show you everything that I got for meals this week. Okay, we're going to do roast chicken the first night, and I'm going to use the carcass, the bones, and whatever meat is left to make a creamy chicken soup. I needed some garlic and onion powder just to have some staples in the fridge. Now, I hardly ever buy steak, but because it was not $40 a kilo, I thought I would give us a treat this week for date night, and I plan on doing steaks, and my husband will do the steaks in the barbecue, but I want to make a Cowboy butter. If you've never had it before, it is delicious. I will show you how to make it, so you need some butter for that. And I plan on doing some mash, or again crispy potatoes and some beans with that meal. And some of these things we're going to cross over. So I've got some pork mince. It said that one of these serves 4 people. Like how? Like 4 children? That looks really small to me. So I've got 2 packets of those. I've got some cabbage, and then I'll use up some beans as well. So that will be a part of those flavors. And I can even add the lemon juice to that to make like a honey soy sauce or whatever I feel like, teriyaki. It'll kind of, I have all of those ingredients, staples in my pantry anyway. So whatever I feel like on the night, I will pull together. I've also got some sliced mushrooms. One thing that I noticed that was interesting at ALDI is that it was, I always look at the price per kilo price point. And that's how I like to keep an eye on how much money I'm spending on my budget. I want to make sure that I'm within my budget. And the sliced mushrooms was the same price per kilo as the whole mushrooms, but that will save me time, whereas normally for a Woolworths, for example, it might be $11.99 for a kilo of mushrooms, but if you check the price per kilo on the cut ones, they charge you $16.99 for the labour to slice them. But they didn't at ALDI, so I got them pre-sliced because that just saves me time. And it was the same price. So I'm going to do a beef pasta stroganoff that night. I'm going to try doing lactose free for one of my boys. Yeah, we're just going to try if that helps his digestive system. So I'm going to try doing that. I was going to do a little slab of cream cheese to make that nice and creamy. So that's a plan for that night, and I can even stir through some frozen beans. Peas, sorry. Uh-oh, yeah, let's not play with sharp things. Thank you. Thank you. So that's one night, and then over here is kind of like my lunches and snacks I've got planned. So basic apples and bananas, of course. I've got some red seedless grapes, and I'm going to make the kids... Are you just trying to find the noisy toys while I'm trying to make a video? Whoa, can you go play with that in your room? Can you play with that in your room? Off you go. Look at my dirty floor. Off you go. Oh, thank you. He listened. First time today. Okay, so we've got some chicken breast meat. I'm going to make like a chopped salad with that, with some cut up grapes, salt and pepper, mayonnaise to make like a creamy chicken salad. I haven't been great the last week using up the food from last week, so I've got some celery sticks cut up in there too, so that'll be a nice crunch. I've got some eggplant dip, which I love. My husband will probably hate, but that's for me. Some crackers and some cabana sticks. These weren't that cheap. This was like $4.50 for the 2-pack. But I figured that my boys are growing. They just need a bit of protein in their lunch. Hubby will eat it too. Baby likes them, so that it definitely won't get wasted. I couldn't find any choc chips over at ALDI, so I'm just going to slice these up to make some choc chip cookies. I got some Nutella to go in there instead of like using that normal butter for the Cowboy butter. For that for my son. And I ran out of peanut butter, so I might make peanut butter cookies too. Bob, my God, he's pushing it around. Let me see if I can go turn that off. What you doing? You're pushing it around like it's a baby. Hang on. Just for a minute. Where was I? I had to turn that soccer ball thing off. All right, so we've got some chickies there for some little lunch snacks. So last week I've got some onions and some little bits of garlic and that left over, so I'll use that. I've also got a pumpkin there too, so I'm just going to use up what food I've got to help me save like money this week to be on budget. I've got some sweet potatoes. These were like $2.50 a kilo last week or something. And I found a warm sweet potato roasted, oh my God. I found a warm roasted sweet potato salad. I think it had some lentils through it and like a creamy sauce, so I'll use the mayonnaise for that too, to try and make a yummy salad. And then I've got some triple smoked ham off the bone to go with that. I just grabbed some snags just to have as some staples in the freezer. I always have a slab of snags in the freezer. I just separate them into like your freezer bags so that they're like, you know, like a portioned dinner size for the 5 of us. Other things that I got this week, obviously we're not going to eat this stuff, but that was what I also spent that money on. So I got a little pop to the shops game for the kids to play and practice their like money counting skills. The cat had to get some food, dog needed some food. And I found this really cute calendar where you like, the kids can practice, mainly for my 6-year-old, days of the week, months of the year, seasons, that sort of thing. So that was 15, that was 20. So that's already $35 that is not for food. Are you right? Do you just want to be close to where mummy is? Bring all the noise to mummy? Okay. And then I ran out of coffee, so I thought I'd just try. I'm not fussy when it comes to coffee. I like Robert Tim's, but they don't have that there, so I just tried that. I'm going to try some laundry liquid, and I need some glass cleaner. And don't mind that, that's just the stuff that he's been banging around with. Okay, so that is everything that I got to feed my family of 5 for the week, including non-grocery items. So stick around to the end and I'll let you know how much I spent. If you are interested in ways on how to save money on your grocery shop, how to try and stick to your budget every single week, I'll link another video below that I made earlier, and hopefully you can find some helpful tips and tricks in there to help your family stay on budget. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything away before it goes bad, and I will be sharing some of the meals that I'll be making this week, but I hope at least I've given you some ideas on meals that you can create for your family that can help you stay on budget this week. I can't tell you how good it felt to be able to write all of these meals out for the week and to feel organized and knowing exactly what I was going to make on what night. It just relieves so much pressure off of your like mum brain, just knowing exactly what you're making each night. Now this is a real kitchen with a real family of 5, so it is not aesthetic 100% of the time. So if you're here for that, maybe you should have like taken a left turn back there. But welcome to my kitchen regardless. If you're wondering what snaggaloids are, they are sausages. That's just what my dad likes to call them. All right, let's get into it. First up, we're going to go ahead and prep our snacks and lunches for the week. So I'm just softening up my lemon there to get some juice out of in a second. And I mentioned earlier, I haven't been great at using up our food from last week. So I'm just going to go ahead and finally chop up some crunchy celery to add to my chicken salad. We're going to add some sliced seedless red grapes for a bit of sweetness, a bit of tartness, a bit of crunch as well. I don't necessarily follow a recipe for this as such, but I will always put in those 2 ingredients, some little cubes of cheese, like chicken lunch meat, salt, pepper, lemon juice, maybe a bit of mustard if I have it, and some mayonnaise, and it's as easy as that. Mix it all together, put it in a container ready to store for lunches for the week. You can put it on fresh bread and butter for like a quick sandwich with some lettuce leaves, or you can do it over a bed of lettuce as well if you just wanted to do just like a quick chicken salad for lunch. I find that having the school snacks sort of prepared early in the week just saves me so much time and like stress in the mornings it's already hectic as enough as it is, trying to get the 3 kids dressed and out of the house. So that's just how I like to prep some snacks, just to save me time and like brain power in the morning. What do you do? Do you do that, or do you like stay up late and like do their lunch boxes the night before? What do you prefer to do? I just feel like it's so much easier to do like a grab and go. Now we've got our cheese and cabana done. Gonna whip that back in the fridge, and then we're going to finish off with our chicken, our creamy chicken salad. So you can even use leftover roast chook, or you can use like barbecue chook, like rotisserie chicken as well. That works easily, but I just had a couple of packs here that I got from ALDI, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use this and cube this up, and we're going to make this like a chopped salad. You could even add, if you were going to eat it straight away, you could even add lettuce to this, like cubed up iceberg lettuce or something like that. But because I wanted to store this in the fridge for a few days to last all the kids and my husband's like work lunches, I didn't want the lettuce leaves to go soggy, so I normally would just put it right before I serve it. So sprinkle of salt, sprinkle of pepper, a squeeze of lemon juice, hold the seeds. We're going to add some mayonnaise, and it really just depends on how much of all of the other ingredients that I have.Maybe aim for about 1/4 cup. I've got a squirt of mustard. You can use Dijon, you could use whole grain, doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to give that like a stir through, and I just give it a taste test. If I feel like it needs to be more sweet, I'll add more grapes. If it needs to be, have a bit more bite or tang, I'll add more lemon juice. I really don't follow a recipe for it. It just depends on how much like lunch meat I've got to use up. I like to store things like this that I prepared in a clear container, because I find if I don't, I waste food because I forget that it's there, or I think that I've used it all up, but really it had like 1.5 lunches to go, and then I like kick myself at the end of the week because I hate wasting food and throwing it out. So I'm just gonna stick that back in the fridge in a clear container so I don't miss it. And because I'm organized this week and I know exactly what meals I'm making on what days, I'm going to go ahead and prep the veggies that I'm going to need for tomorrow's chicken soup. And I'm using up, like I mentioned before, I haven't been that great with using everything up. So I'm going to use up some celery that I didn't finish last week, and I'm going to add this little guy to my little propagation station on my kitchen windowsill. See if I can get it to sprout, and then I'll go throw him in the garden out back, see how he goes. I tell you what, I was so grateful that I had thought ahead and prepped these veggies ready to make a quick dinner using the leftover chicken from the night before, like from this night, which was going to be the roast chook, because we had an after school activity and I got home at like 5:30. Like I got home late to prep dinner with a starving baby. So I was so thankful that I was organized this week, and Karlene was nowhere to be seen at this stage. And I had it all together. Don't you love it when you have those moments where you feel organized and everything is sunny and shining and happy? Gotta appreciate those moments in life. They don't seem to last long enough. The next thing I'm going to prep are our snuggaloids. So this will be my husband's choice on how he wants to cook these on that night, because it's one of my work days. So he will be making dinner, so I will leave that to him. So I won't film that night, but I just like to cut the slab in half, put them in freezer bags so that I can defrost them quickly and easily for dinner, or a make ahead breakfast meal as well. So I'll link this recipe below. I made a lemon garlic roast chicken, but I did it in the slow cooker because I wanted to be able to prepare this in the morning and then forget about it all day. So I just adapted the recipe to add 2, not sticks of butter, 2 squares, how original, of butter under the skin so that they wouldn't dry out after being in the slow cooker. I just put this on low. I think it was for about 4 to 6 hours. I just drizzled some olive oil on top just to help the skin brown, and just left that to its own devices all day, which is great. I used the potatoes that I bought, just crisped those up with the onion and garlic powder, and I just did up some green peas, and that is an easy dinner. I just thickened up the sauce with some corn flour, so it was like a lemon, chicken, garlic sauce on the first night. So we're going to cook once and eat twice. I just kept the juices and the broth from the chicken from last night, added that to the pot. I threw in all of the leftover vegetables that weren't eaten, the crispy potatoes, peas. I added carrots this night, and I also sauteed up some onion, sauteed up some onion. So I will link this recipe below. And I just made that a creamy chicken soup by adding some of that lactose-free cream that I bought from Aldi. The next night is date night, which really is just family night in for us at this stage, this life stage. And if you've never had Cowboy butter, you need to try it. My husband's giving you a thumbs up there while I'm in a complete grot just stirring the garlic. Cowboy butter with a piece of steak. It's so good. It's like tangy and zesty and spicy and buttery, like everything that you would want on a steak. I also did up garlic potato mash and buttery green beans covered with some lemon juice and lemon zest towards the end. Chef's kiss. Totally recommend. I'll link the recipe below. Trust me, you need to try it. Now I had really good plans early in the week. I was going to roast up those sweet potatoes I had, stir through that smoked ham to be like a healthy lunch, but this is what I made instead because I had a whole bunch of mashed potato left over from the steak night the night before. I had maybe a third of a can of canned corn in the fridge, and I still had like a stalk of celery that was left over. So I mixed all of that together and made little mini fritters, rolled them in some corn flour, quickly fried them. I added grated cheese too. And then I made like a spicy mayo that had a squeeze of lemon juice in it, a bit of Tabasco sauce. I did the onion powder and the garlic powder in those little fritters too. So this was just like wham bam, thank you ma'am, whatever I had on hand made into a fritter. So if you had, corned beef or something, you can use that too, or if you had leftover chicken meat, whatever you want, canned of tuna. But that's how I made this into the most glorious lunch snack for the weekend. It was so tasty and so good. But I still have 3 sweet potatoes left on the bench. It's now been 2 weeks. They're probably going to grow more sweet potatoes soon. What should I make? Probably be in my next video. Anyway, I made another meal and stretched all of those ingredients that I bought from Aldi. So far I'm doing really well eating up everything that I've bought this week so far. The next recipe, I adapted a honey ginger stir-fried pork. So I just added noodles, I substituted the vegetables that I had on hand, and I just substituted dried ginger for fresh ginger. But this was a really simple and quick and easy dinner, and even the baby loved this one. I'll link it for you below. Later that evening, because dinner was so quick and easy to pull together, I had the energy to make a sweet treat. So I am using up some leftover Easter bunny chocolate plus the block of chocolate that I bought from Aldi, and we're going to make some lactose-free Choc chip chunk cookies. And you can't have them without a glass of milk if it's after dinner, right? I'll link that recipe below. Okay, last dinner that I'm going to share with you this week was a really simple beef stroganoff pasta, and I'm dishing up baby's first to give it a chance to cool down since he eats a little bit earlier than the rest of us. And that's it for the week. Now, before I share how much I spent on creating these meals for this week, plus those 2 other random like toy things for my kids, pause this video and comment below how much you think I spent. Okay, welcome back. $197.44. Was that more or less than what you thought it would be? Would you be comfortable telling me below where you're from, how many people are in your family, and how much you spend in a week on groceries? I'm curious. Thank you for watching this week's video. I hope that you did learn something and get something out of it. I'll link other helpful videos below which I think you may find helpful, like how to cook once and eat twice using that same chunk of meat to create 2 meals and stretch meals out for your family. If, like me, you try and make your food go as far as possible when you have little mouths to feed. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you on my next video. Bye for now.